Hey there, folks. Joey D'Angelo's here with episode 6 of season 5 review for Samurai Jack. I uploaded the episode 5 just the other night, so if you haven't checked that out, if you want to check it out, it's on the Samurai Jack playlist on this YouTube channel. However, if you've already seen that episode, then you can just dive right into this one, where I talk about spoilers for season 5, episode 6. So we last left off, we saw the weird, strange warrior take Jack with him, and Ashi is pursuing Jack. So then basically a lot of the episode is Ashi encountering very familiar faces throughout the Samurai Jack universe. So this includes those giant, woolly creatures that were being put to slavery. And they basically recounted how Jack saved them. And you have the 3 blind archers talking about how Jack is like their hero. And of course you have the samurai. He's like the funky dude. And he talks about how Jack basically taught him a lesson. So it was really nice because it acknowledged the original show in a way that was really cool. I also dug the fact that they basically it felt like they reanimated and reformatted those old episodes onto this new series. So it's kind of like in Finding Dory when they reanimated the sequence where Marlin, I believe the sequence where Marlin loses Nemo, or whatever, when he first meets Dory or whatever. They couldn't just reuse the scene from Finding Nemo because the animation technology and all that, the style of it had evolved so much since 2003 that they couldn't just, copy and paste it. And same goes for this one, especially because Samurai Jack was made for, different TV sets. It wasn't made for widescreen television, the initial series. So they had to redo that, and I appreciated the efforts that they went through to do that. But it still remained very faithful to that old aesthetic, which is really nice. So then, what I also like to mention in this episode was that we get the return of Scaramouche. He's not dead. His head is bobbling around, hopping, and he's trying to tell Aku that Jack doesn't have his sword anymore. I almost thought that Scaramouche was just going to be an amusing one-note side villain for from that first episode, but now it seems like he'll have a semi-larger role in this series as he's trying to tell Aku that the samurai doesn't have his sword anymore, so you might be safe. Which that's pretty big and adds some heavy stakes to the series and makes it so that way Jack really has to find his sword now. I mean, he really needed it before, but now he really, really needs it. So the other thing I have to mention with this episode, of course, I talk about Jack, is that Ashi, before then, Ashi gets rid of her, black uniform, or, what feels like she has to, rub stones on her skin, basically, to remove, the darkness. And they show, some pretty disturbing sequences where Ashi is being burned, basically, as a part of her training. So, it's pretty intense to see children getting burned like that, even with the animation style. And then she wears this a different outfit, which is a nice change in pace, and Jack even compliments her on it towards the end of the episode. And then we find out that these ghosts, that warrior is a ghost of these I guess fallen samurai, and they want Jack to commit seppuku. Or seppuku, or whatever it was called. Somebody's going to correct me in the comments section, and that's fine. But basically commit suicide because he failed his purpose. But Ashi basically talks him out of it. And they, at the end of the episode, they're basically look, we got to find the sword. So this might be my favorite episode of the new revival. Maybe aside from episode 2 and 3. Because those were great episodes. And they're all great episodes, I feel, this new season. But this one was great because it acknowledged the old series. And it actually felt more adult. They felt like they really used more language in this one than they did in previous episodes. Like somebody refers to another character as an SOB, you know, So, and there's some really kind of weird references in there. But there's like also just old cartoon references in this episode, like from the Jetsons and Popeye. You know, some crazy crazy stuff. So this show I think is still going at a nice pace with where it's taking its story. They've only shown Aku himself in 2 episodes, and you hear Aku a bit in this episode when Scaramouche goes to a payphone and tries to call Aku. It's amusing that so far into the future they have a payphone on a boat. That is just kind of funny. You know, again, I just think with 4 more episodes left, I think they're moving the story at a very nice pace. I'm very interested to see the way that this concludes and the way they develop Ashi and Jack, and if they bring back other older characters, because the ones that they brought back so far and have showcased have been awesome. You know, some of them I would say are even unexpected. I didn't expect the samurai, like the funky samurai dude, to return. You know, I just felt like he was a very, like, you know, it wasn't a bad episode or anything, but I felt like it was an episode where, you know, if you asked most Samurai Jack fans, I don't know if all of them would say that's their favorite episode, but it was pretty cool that they showcased him anyway in this one. So that about wraps it up for this week's discussion on Samurai Jack. If you want to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, please do so. And comment your thoughts on this new series. I really would like to know your thoughts, and if I find any, you know, interesting comments, I'll definitely bring them up on the next video and kind of discuss them at length. So anyway, that's about it. See you guys later.